Hi. Hello. How's it going? What's up? Y'all can call me Geoff. I'm a millennial, and I live and work in these northern communities. To provide some context, a millennial is a generational term used to describe someone born between 1980 and 2000. For many of our northern communities, there has been a demographic shift towards an older and smaller population. How our communities deal with this loss will likely affect the long-term economic and social viability of our communities for generations to come. But let me just say, I love it here. From the mountains of New Hampshire to the rolling hills of Vermont to the deeply rooted history and culture that is northern New England, and yes, even the weather. This really is one of the greatest places on earth. But to keep young people here, you need more than just a really great place. You need a positive emotional connection to it. But what does that mean, this positive emotional connection? It means it's through a positive human experience, connection, relationship that creates and starts the process of a belonging, that we matter, that you care, that this is or should be our home. The more millennials feel at home, the more likely they'll stay. The more likely we'll buck this negative trend and move towards a positive future with young people. So, how would you say you create this positive emotional connection? I'd say it all begins with an honest, simple, and friendly hello. Hey, how's it going? What's up? But let's not ignore that demographic trend. With a higher than average unemployment to a lower than average annual income, and as I said, an aging population that overall our population is decreasing or in some cases stagnant, for those of us, myself included, looking to keep open our local schools or sustaining our community institutions, things don't look good. We need young people to take on leadership roles, to sustain our community infrastructure, to keep up the fabric of our communities. If trends continue the way they are, we will have more empty storefronts and more silent playgrounds. It's no secret that the boomers are in the midst of retiring. Some of you may know someone who just recently retired or is about to, my mother-in-law included. According to the Pew Research Center, the boomers occupy 29% of our workforce. Over the next 15 years or so, many of those boomers will retire. We need young people to take on those roles, to fill those gaps. But let me just say, I don't believe our northern communities will disappear. In fact, I believe we can buck that trend. As I said before, I'm a millennial. And when I look at our northern communities, I see opportunity. Opportunity for a young person to really make something of themselves, to take a risk, to fill a niche, to really be the best that they can be. With a little bit of an entrepreneurial spirit and a little know-how, they can really go with it and run with it. It is this opportunity and this region's awesome natural and cultural assets and amenities that is already attracting some young people, some millennials. And it's just the beginning. Remember, many of the oldest millennials graduated or entered the workforce into the recession. And the youngest, they're still in high school. I graduated law school in '09, right into the middle of the recession, with $100,000 in student loan debt. It wasn't until 2013 that my wife and I felt comfortable enough to move back to New England. But the millennials are coming, and we need to be ready to welcome them, to create a sense of belonging, a sense they matter, that you care, that this is and should be their home. We need to start a conversation. We need to open up communication. We need to start a relationship. It's through these relationships that we can begin to welcome millennials and young people as members, to creating a sense that they're contributing in positive ways, that they can make these deeper, more intimate connections to the people and place they live. If we want young people here, a major focus needs to be on them. And it all begins with a simple, honest, and friendly hello. Hey, what's up? According to research, community capital can be a powerful thing. It can improve our overall health, our overall happiness, and our general life experiences. According to a well-cited theory on a sense of community by David McMillan and David Chavitz, there are 4 elements that create our sense of community. 1, membership. 2, influence. 3, integration and fulfillment of needs. And 4, a shared emotional connection. It is these elements that help to create our sense that we belong, that we matter, that others care, that this is our home and we are going to stay. If we want young people here, we need to invite them into the fabric of our communities. We need to invite them to be members. We need to connect. When I lived in LA, I knew exactly zero of my neighbors. When I lived in Brooklyn, I knew 2 people in my building, and they were actually friends of my wife, so I really didn't know them per se, but I did. When I moved to New England, that changed. I was greeted. I was invited. I was introduced. Never in my life have I felt more connected, more a part of my community than I do now. It is those connections, those relationships, those conversations that helped me to feel as though I'm an honest-to-goodness member, that I'm contributing in a positive, substantive, and meaningful way, that I'm able to make the deeper, more intimate relationships with the people and the place I live. And it all began with a simple, honest, and friendly hello. Hey, what's up? If we want young people to be a part of our communities, we need to reach out. We need to say hello. According to the Pew Research Center, 85% of millennials, 18 to 29-year-olds, own a smartphone. 91% of them use their phones for social networking. And 100% of those surveyed use their phones for text messaging. Some of you may have kids or know millennials and how they interact, how they connect. We're used to connecting digitally. It allows us to stay connected with our friends all over the place, from 2 feet away to 12,451 miles away. I'm not here to say whether that is good or bad. What I am here to say is if we want young people to stay, we need to connect. And if you want to connect with me, you're going to need to friend me in person. We need to start our relationships here. We need to have a conversation here. We need to say hello here. We need to take things old school with a friendly smile and an honest handshake. I'm not saying we shouldn't be doing things digitally. What I am saying is we should use what we know best, to create those connections, those relationships, those interactions that create a sense that we belong, that we matter, that you care, that this is and will be our home. If we want young people to be a part of our communities, we need to invite them into the fabric of our communities. We need to invite them into the fabric of our lives. Join me in taking that first step to building young people into our northern communities, to reaching out to your young neighbors, to having a conversation with a youthful visitor. Let's make this thing go viral. And it all begins with a simple, honest, and friendly hello. Thanks.